Hey everyone, welcome back to another Jackson Jet Setting Resort Review and Tour. Today we're going to take a look at the Ritz-Carlton Grande Lakes in Orlando, Florida. It's a great option for people looking for a luxury experience in Orlando, somewhat close to a lot of the theme parks around. So we're going to give you a full tour of the property. It's pretty big, over 500 acres, all in and connected to the JW Marriott, so there's a lot to see. Your entry into the property takes a little bit of time by car. You wind down some fairways of the Ritz-Carlton Golf Club's golf course before you actually arrive at the hotel property. If you arrive the way we did, you'll see the Ritz-Carlton Orlando first, and then followed by the JW Marriott, and then the Marriott Vacation Club property. I'd say there's a Mediterranean feel to the property. A lot of white fountains like this, and the buildings themselves look straight out of the Mediterranean. There's a Ritz-Carlton neighborhood as well, right next to the Ritz-Carlton Orlando, so if you love your stay, you can live there full time. This is the main lobby of the Ritz, a little small, but really well appointed. There's even a little kid check-in area, lots of kids obviously being in Orlando. You take the elevators up, and we're gonna take a look at our room, which had an upgraded view. So we were on the 6th floor here. These rooms were newly renovated and it definitely shows. I felt like the entire room was beautiful. Lots of white marble and really relaxing grays. Separate tub from the shower, as well as a separate room for the toilet. Shower itself was a little small for my liking. As we move into the main room, you'll see a lot more of those whites I was talking about. Ritz-Carlton bed, I think, is the #1 thing that I look forward to with a Ritz-Carlton stay. The bed was very, very comfortable. So the room itself has a great view of the pool complex, as well as the golf course beyond. The whole resort reminded me a lot of the Ritz-Carlton Cancun. Check out that video on our channel if you have the time. One unique thing was this coffee maker that was stored in the cabinet of the bureau, which I thought was really cool. They use Nespresso, which is my favorite in-room coffee brand. The mini bar had been emptied out, so you could use that to store some leftovers. Very unique clock with Bluetooth. And now we're going to check out the whole grounds of the complex. So the Ritz-Carlton has some exclusive amenities closest to its tower, and then as you make your way towards the JW, things become shared, including the lazy river pool, which is at the JW Marriott, which you'll see in a little bit. It's fantastic. There are also some tennis courts and the golf club over on the JW side. So here's the pool for the Ritz-Carlton. Wasn't very busy during our stay. Looked beautiful. There was some construction going on closer to the lake, which I think would add like a new fountain feature, which would make the area look even nicer. There were hot tubs, as well as this cabana, which had some complimentary sunscreen in case you forgot it. Always nice to have, especially in Florida. There were some Dippin' Dots for purchase as well. But plenty of lounge seating, wasn't ever busy. These cabanas looked fantastic and were an extra charge in case you wanted a little bit more privacy. So definitely check that out if you're staying at the Ritz-Carlton. Here's Blue, which is the poolside restaurant for the Ritz-Carlton. Had some great menu options, was actually outside the gates of the pool, so you do have to walk out to go grab your food. There was a kids play area with some nice loungers for parents if they were wanting to watch their kids play, which I thought was really great. Bocce ball, which I think was a really fun high-end option next to the Ritz-Carlton as well for some entertainment. As I said, the grounds are gigantic at the Ritz-Carlton and the JW, so lots of events, a big conference center that separates the hotels, but pretty much one long hallway between the two hotels connecting them. There was some sand volleyball over on the JW side. Right now we're going to walk through and check out the Ritz-Carlton pool. Huge pool complex. Obviously both are very, very big hotels that usually host conventions during normal times, so you need a lot of room for people to spread out. The lazy river was fantastic, had some cool rock work, lots of shade, and kind of floated in and out of bigger pool areas, which I thought was pretty unique. With your resort fee, tubes are included, so you can take those, back to your room if you wanted to. Those are complimentary for guests of both the JW and the Ritz-Carlton. We saw lots of people just grabbing a drink at the hotel bar and floating the lazy river, so there's plenty to do at the resort pool-wise. There's also some kayaks that you can rent and go around the lake. The Ritz-Carlton has a lot of seating areas outside as well. which was really nice to see. The kids club over at the Ritz-Carlton is also where the Grande Lakes sports complex is. Those are shared amenities between the JW and the Ritz-Carlton where you can rent bikes. There's also a soccer field and some, cornhole as well. So, I mean, there was plenty to do on the property, which I thought was really great. Back over on the JW side is where you'll find the golf club, as you see there. With your resort fee, you can use the driving range facilities in case you wanted to practice golf a little bit. The golf course itself is one of the best in Orlando, so definitely worth checking out. The JW and the Ritz-Carlton have a lot of restaurants on property that use vegetables that are grown on property, which I thought was really, really cool. Primo, which was currently under renovation but serving food in another one of the resort's restaurants, has this huge garden right next to the JW. Across from that garden is the tennis courts for the JW Marriott and the Ritz-Carlton, and it's right next to the timeshare properties. I believe there were 3 courts there. The spa and fitness center are located between the 2 properties as well. Even though it's called the Ritz-Carlton Spa, both properties can use it, and it's where the shared fitness center is. You'll see this fitness center is gigantic. It wasn't very busy during our stay, but there weren't any big conventions going on. I imagine it still gets busy despite its size if that was happening. The Hidden Lake Trail is where you can take mountain bikes. We actually walked it, but it's a 2-mile trail in between different golf holes, lots of wildlife, some nice boardwalks to walk on. Highly recommend doing that. That was a pretty unique option. These are some of the timeshare properties that are located kind of off in their own corner of the entire complex, the Grande Lakes complex. Whisper Creek Farm was a really cool addition to the resort. It's where a lot of the restaurants grow their vegetables. We saw 2 farmers there when we visited on our bikes. There were even chickens that lay a lot of the eggs used for breakfast on property, which was really cool. Even had a honey making area, so definitely check that out if you're there. And on your way back on your bike, you'll pass the front edge of the vacation club property. So now we're gonna take a look at some of the restaurants. This is the lobby bar for the Ritz-Carlton. It serves sushi in the evenings. Obviously, it's a great place to grab a cocktail, either alone or if you're waiting for friends. So definitely check that out. It was very, very pretty and had a great view of the property. Highball and Harvest is the kitchen and bar that we ate at one evening. It's also where you can get your free appetizer with your resort fee. It had some pool tables, which was pretty cool to see, and had some really high-end cocktails and high-end American food with a lot of twists, which was really cool. First drop is the morning coffee bar, and definitely worth checking out. We had a sandwich from there. Knife and Spoon is a high-end restaurant, which was closed for a private event during our visit. And you'll see here a time-lapse of how far it is through a bunch of hallways to the JW Marriott, where we're gonna check out some more of the restaurants. This being such a big property, there's actually its own dedicated Starbucks right there that we passed. And this is the lobby bar for the JW Marriott. The Whisper Creek Farm Kitchen, where they serve a lot of the vegetables that were being grown back there in the last clip, as well as Primo, which grows its own vegetables in its own garden. Very, very cool to see. So that's the Ritz-Carlton Orlando. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Talk to you soon.